Hello guys, welcome to the computer network course. So, till now we have learned about LANs. Now, moving on, we would learn about WANs. So, what are WANs? WANs are wide area network. This means is that it covers large area. So, if we see it, it is basically the backbone of internet. So, if the internet would not cover a large area, it would not be used this much. So it is a backbone of internet. So now the question arises how it is different from LAN. So LANs used to use star topology, whereas WANs uses switches. So switches are used to create multiple paths so that it can provide multiple access to people. Now, the second point is LAN was a connectionless technology, whereas WAN is connection oriented technology. So, what does connectionless means that if there is a sender and there is a receiver and a packet is sent from sender to receiver, there is no relationship between them. Just the packet is sent and that's it. But in connection oriented technology, what happens is there is a sender and there is a receiver. First, a connection is established. And after that, once the connection is established, after that, the packet is sent. And once the transmission is over, then this connection gets terminated. So that was the difference between LAN technology and WAN. So the one major point that we want to use WAN is that WAN is wide area network. That means it covers a large area. Whereas LAN used to cover just a small or limited geographic area. So now moving on, there are some protocol that was under Switched WAN. The first one is X.25 protocol. This was the first protocol that was popular. It was the most popular protocol at one time. And what it does, it was used to connect public network to individual computers. Not exactly, but we can take the example of Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi can be used to connect the individual network. And it used to operate on network layer. It was very popular, but the problem arises when there is a high demand for speed. That in today's time you need a high speed internet. So it was unable to provide that was so it become obsolete. So instead of this, a new protocol came that was similar to X.25, but it used to give high speed, which is frame relay. So it used to operate on data link layer and physical layer, and used to provide high speed. And one more feature that it has, which the X.25 didn't have, was burst data. So what this means is that sometimes a user wants, like, for 2 seconds it wants 10 Mbps, then for 1 second it wants 2 Mbps, then for 3 seconds it wants 3 Mbps. So the average might be, if we calculate its average, it would be 5 Mbps, which could be easily provided by X.25. But the problem is that it wants this 10 Mbps for this 2 seconds, and this can't be provided by X.25. So frame relay also supports CLAT. That if you want, like, for 2 seconds, if you want like 15 Mbps, it can provide us. So that was all about it. Thank you. Now, after frame relay, one more technology that come under WAN is ATM, which stands for asynchronous transfer mode. So it is a switched network, which means that it uses switches. So in this, the user access devices, which are we people, are known as end devices, and we are connected to switches, and our devices are connected to switches. So there is one important term, that is TP, transmission path. So connection between two endpoints are accomplished through transmission path. So what does the transmission path means? Suppose there is a sender and there is a receiver. So transmission path is just this path from source to destination path. It can be line, it can be wire, it can use switches and all those things. So let us take an example. Suppose there is one city. So there is one city and there is second city. So we need a path to go from this city to this city. So that highway is the transmission path in ATM layers. So there are some layers that ATM has. ATM has 3 layers, which are application adaptation layer, which is AAL, then ATM layer, and then physical layer. So these are just basic layers, no need to go in depth in this. So what AAL does, it just takes packets from upper layers. What ATM layer does, it handles the work of routing and switching and so on. What physical layer does, it defines the transmission medium, like from where the packet is coming, it does some encoding, and it also converts the electrical signals to optical signals. So that was all in this ATM. So in this, what we have covered, first we have seen what are switched WANs. Then we have seen X.25. Then we have seen frame relay. And then we have seen the ATM. So that was all in it. Thank you.